Foreign investors warn about the possible negative impact in business of President Duterte's unconventional style and methods in policy and diplomacy. The American, Nordic, and European chambers of commerce have all expressed concern that the Duterte administration's bloody war against illegal drugs may erode the business sector's confidence in the country. The managing director of Regina Capital Development Corporation, Luis Limlingan, joins us on the line to discuss the issue. Good afternoon, Luis.
Hi, good afternoon, Alvin.
For the laymen like us, kindly explain to us, is there really an impact, the president's style of leadership, on investors going into the Philippine stock market?
Well, I have to say at this point it's too early right now, especially since the president has barely reached 100 days. But from what I gathered from our clients, I think they're more concerned of his specific policies. In fact, for example, they want to know the guidance when it comes to the comprehensive tax reform, his stance on mining, and even contractualization. So they're actually positioning, looking forward as to which companies will most be affected by these policies. And once the direction is clear, then I think the investors will know when exactly to enter or exit the market.
So would it be correct to say that the departure of investment or investors' money or hot money from the Philippine Stock Exchange has nothing to do at all with the frank and brutal pronouncements of the president?
I would think the impact right now would be quite minimal, and that's only what I'm getting from our investors at the moment. In fact, if you trace back, we've been at net foreign selling for around 22 days. And if you look at it traditionally, August is what they deem the ghost month. So investors usually sell heavily, and that's when fund managers usually go on vacation. For the majority of September, everyone was actually focused on the interest rate hike of the Fed and also the monetary policy of the Bank of Japan. In fact, we even bounced back from around 7,500, so we're well above 7,700 at this point.
So when you expect this to recover after the ghost month is over, you expect the trade to recover?
Well, we've seen the net foreign sellings slightly diminish at this point, but we still think that there's a lot of speculation at this point as to where they're going to time the next interest rate hike. Another issue that I think that they're more concerned right now is the presidential election, which is going to happen in November. So again, we have two different candidates with differing policies. So I think the market is more concerned about that right now.
So if at all, one last question from my end, if at all, what negative impact will the president's kind of leadership bring to investors at the Philippine stock market, if at all?
Well, I think what the investors want is some decisiveness from the president. So I think, for example, in terms of, let's say, the infrastructure, they want to see if they're going to find a way to ease the traffic because it is causing a lot of bottlenecks. Stance on mining, the president, for example, says that he's for responsible mining, but we're seeing that a lot of these mining companies are going to be shut down. So I think it's more of they want to see, is the president very decisive, right? Again, there's always going to be winners and losers at the end. So when the investors find out or are certain as to which policies he's firm with, they're going to know when to or which companies are going to position their stock.
So investors don't mind the cursing, the being brash, being straightforward. They don't mind that at all, or do they?
Well, I think everyone gets surprised by it, but some locally, they're pretty much accustomed to it right now. I'm not one to ask about diplomacy, but I think at this point, unless so long as it is verbal and nothing nothing that is making any decisive
change in policy
actions, change in policy, then I think there's no reason for investors to actually be selling. In fact, for those who are going to be selling, I would say take this as a buying opportunity.
Luis, thank you for your time, Luis. We are going to talk to the President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you for your time. That's Luis Limlingan of Regina Capital. We now have on the line the President of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, George Barcelon, who is going to join our discussion. Good afternoon, Mr. Barcelon.
Good afternoon, Alvin.
What is your take on reports that the President is actually turning off investors? As a matter of fact, some of them have pulled out from the stock market.
Well, the talk about stock market primarily is because, you're talking about Fed in the U.S., contemplating increasing the Fed rate. And that definitely has an impact. People think that, they can also get good returns there and pulling their money out of the stock market. But aside from that, I think our microeconomic fundamentals are quite steady. There's no reason why they would question our economy now that we have almost 7% GDP growth. On the side of his colorful language, I think the foreign media should by now know that that's our president. That's the way he talks. I would think many times that wala namang intent to catch somebody. But that's the way he talks. As right in the paper, he's a mayor, rural, and he, as far as being a statesman, he admitted, "I'm no statesman. I'm a elected president of the Philippines, and I have a job to do." I would be less than truthful to say that when the mention of about our credit standing, is something that we don't care. In the business sector, of course, that has some bearing.
Of course, you do care about credit rating.
Yes, we do care. Yes.
So
and the thing is, as I said, the macroeconomic fundamentals is there. I think those are the ratings are justified by numbers,
Yeah.
Not just whatever that's going politically that you lose that standing.
So would you rather, George, that the President tones down the kind of strong leadership that he is exhibiting? I mean, strong in words and very direct and straight to the point and even cursing. Do you think that should stop or let him be?
I would think that should be tempered. Okay. I was just thinking. I mean, it would avoid misinterpretation. And I think many of these questions or concerns that are raised is that they're looking at it from the point of view they're misinterpreting that it's all directed at the Europeans, at the US, at the UN. I don't think the president, knowing that how the world has become global, where no country can stand alone by herself. So that side of it, they have president has good economic team people. We have a good Secretary of Foreign Affairs, and I think they're doing a good job in melding some of this outbursts.
Mr. Barcelon, Caroline Howard here. That might be as far as how do you call it, mending damage perhaps that may have been done, considering that diplomacy still comes into the picture even outside those microeconomic fundamentals that you're pointing out. Diplomacy, in that we've already seen America has somehow also turned cold, if you can see it that way, beyond policy, in not agreeing to meet up with Mr. Duterte in a bilateral talk in Laos.
Well, that incident, because it so happened I was in Vientiane, Laos also. Of course, when people heard about the cancellation of the meeting of President, there's a bit of the attitude was sayang naman, because most of them had there in Vientiane.
Yes.
Sayang naman na hindi sila nakausap. But after that, there was an occasion where they were able to meet. They were able to talk pleasantries, And that I think has mended what was done previously.
So you're convinced, sir, that no opportunities here are in fact being lost, given the posturings of the president?
Pardon?
You're convinced that no opportunities are being lost, given the posturings of the president?
As of now, there is on the economic side, and then many occasions I talked to Secretary Mon Lopez, and he is of the opinion that at this point in time, people are having Philippines in the radar, not from the political point of view or all of this talk about how the president acts, but more like Philippines is a good country for investment. We ourselves in the chamber also, we've been receiving different missions from different countries. We just received people from India. Two as a matter of 2 meetings came over. And we'll be looking at the Philippines for investment, also to promote the product.
So generally speaking, Mr. Barcelon, the foreigners or the foreign investors are not turned off, even if the president sounded offensive in previous occasions. They don't really care. They will still invest in the Philippines. Is that what you're saying?
It looks like that way. In the various meetings, we normally stick to the agenda of what was the purpose of the mission, and what from a chamber's point of view that we can act as the gateway for them to promote and for them to do trading. Of course, the topic dropped up. They opine that we have a very strong president.
That being the case, though, we have a very strong president, and in fact, we also have other members of government who are also exhibiting their own strengths by disputing the president in a public forum, in no less than Senate hearings or House hearings. You're seeing this constant volleying of blame or what have you. Are those same hearings and venues not causing a strain as well, the way you see it?
What's going on in the Congress? I would I would express that sana man our elected officials, both upper and lower house, would spend more time in dealing with the pressing problem of the economy, of the infrastructure. Definitely, from my point of view, those must be given importance. But it so happened that this issue of what both houses are doing in the investigation is also, in a way, important to clear the air.
But beyond that, definitely prioritize legislation and the like.
Yes, I hope that this will be cleared up as short as possible, so that they can really spend more time in addressing advantage issues.
And lacking which, sir? Lacking any resolution? Where do you see that going, or how do you see that affecting the state of the economy?
As of now, I don't see how it has affected. What I see is that since they are not able to deliberate more important issues, it's a cause of delay of the change that we are looking forward to. There's really a lot of optimism on the part of the public and also on the part of the business sector that after by next month is the 100 days of this administration.
Yes.
And usually 100 days we're having our Philippine Business Conference middle of next month.
So what is your...
many of the cabinet secretaries join us, and also to share with us yung mga plano nila, ano ba yung nagawa dito sa itong first 3 months, about 100 days. It's a platform wherein we would have the people in the government share with us what they've done, but most importantly, what they're going to do. Alam mo naman, 3 months, that's only getting the feel of it.
Yeah, but we talked about foreign investments. What about local investments? People like you're the president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce. What can you say about the first 3 months of the Duterte administration? You're positive or needs improvement? What grade will you give it?
Personally, it's positive for me. I've been doing, as a president of Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I do my rounds during the consultation. And I feel, I see and I hear what I like. And I've been looking for investments in the south, in the Mindanao area. I think there's a potential for growth, taking into consideration that the ongoing peace process. This is always one of the bottlenecks, yung peace situation.
Okay.
Natatakot pa ako kasi it's not peaceful. But I think that process has been initiated, and I would like to see that it goes to fruition na makaayos yung problema natin. And definitely, I'm interested in investing in the South.
Okay. So thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's
Okay.
George Barcelon, the president of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you.